Who is going to win Super Bowl 58? Is it going to be Patrick Mahomes and all his experience and superhero dad bod? Or is it going to be Brock the Purdy and his Cinderella story? In today's show, Kyle and I give you 5 things that each team needs to do to win the Super Bowl. But then it's your job to go down in the comment section. Tell us who brought the fire and who laid out the best argument. Today, Kyle and I figure out which one of us is the master debater. Oh yeah, and we're giving away a Deebo Samuel signed mini helmet right here. If you want to have a chance to win this helmet, head over to Instagram, hit that follow button, and then tag 2 friends down below in the comment section. You'll be entered into the giveaway and we'll randomly select a comment on Super Bowl Sunday. Now, if for some reason you can't find us on Instagram, don't worry, there's a link down below in the description. But enough of the chit chat. Kyle, give me your first point.
All right, my first point for the 49ers has to be probably the biggest point, and that's going to be Kyle Shanahan. When you're going toe-to-toe with Andy Reid and the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes, who have been here quite a bit over the last few years, you're going to need one of the best offensive minds in all of football to really be able to put up a great fight. And Kyle Shanahan is that offensive mind that's going to be able to go back and forth, go 12 rounds with Andy Reid, and maybe in the end put it together such a great game plan that even Patrick Mahomes would not be able to keep up with it.
Now, I don't know how you go 12 rounds in 4 quarters, but I do like that point, Kyle. My point number 1 here for the Kansas City Chiefs, they need to Forrest Gump this biznatch and just keep on running the football because San Francisco cannot stop the run here as of late. 5 of their last 6 games have resulted in their opponents rushing for over 100 yards. That's something they only allowed 3 times in their first 13 games. Isaiah Pacheco, he's had a touchdown in 7 straight ball games, and he's also had 18 plus carries in 3 of his last 4. All of those games resulting in a Chiefs win. Now, San Francisco, they're top 3 in the NFL in points scored and yards, but they can't do that if they don't have the football.
All right, my second point kind of ties into my first point a little bit. You have one of the greatest offensive minds in football right now with some of the best weapons in all of football right now. When you take a look at the San Francisco 49ers offense, you have everything in place that you need to go toe-to-toe with Patrick Mahomes. You've got the wide receiver and Brandon Ayuk. You've got really the flex play and Deebo Samuel running the football, great after the catch, does a lot of things in the passing game and on the ground that it's really tough to plan for. Of course, you got my man George Kittle, and then Christian McCaffrey, who probably won't get enough love as an MVP candidate this season. When you have weapons like that on your offense, you can outscore anybody.
Chiefs point number 2, it's got to be the short passing game. And I'm talking micro short. You should know what I'm talking about there, Kyle. But with guys like Nick Bosa, Chase Young, Fred Warner, Dre Greenlaw, Javon Hargrave, time in the pocket is going to be short. Look what Patrick Mahomes did against the Baltimore Ravens defense. His average yards per completion was only 8 yards. For his career, it's at 12 yards per reception. He knows he's not going to have very much time in the pocket. He's going to have to rely on those shorter throws and a lot of yards after the catch, which is great because Rashee Rice, rookie wide receiver, was 3rd among all wide receivers in the NFL in yards after the catch. Travis Kelce, 4th among all tight ends in the NFL. Hell, Rashee Rice, his average depth of target was only 4.8 yards on the season. He's not going down the field. They're trying to get him the ball quick and early. Same with Travis Kelce at only 6.7 yards. Avoid the pass rush with hot routes there with Patrick Mahomes. Just move the chains. Keep the ball away from San Francisco and rely on that defense.
Okay, listen, Jake, some of us have to do more with less. It's not a weakness. It's called being resilient. All right, my third point is all about the San Francisco defense and potentially the ability to shut down Travis Kelce. We've seen this defense perform at an elite level this year. 3rd fewest points scored on the season, 3rd fewest rushing yards allowed on the season, 8th fewest total yards allowed on the season. But it's not just that. Steve Wilkes, who was the head coach for Carolina to end last year, came over as the defensive coordinator, and he has brought some elite game planning with him. But on top of that, the ability to make some really, really good second half adjustments. We saw that against the Detroit Lions a couple of weeks ago. They did not look good in the first half, and in the second half looked a lot better. If they can do that against Kansas City, that's going to be a big step towards finishing this game out strong. But allowing Travis Kelce to beat you is going to be one of the big no-nos this week. And San Francisco's defense has only allowed 2 touchdowns all season to tight ends, the fewest in the National Football League. If you can shut down Travis Kelce, you're going to make Kansas City potentially one-dimensional in the passing game.
All right, reason number 3, the Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl. I'm calling it under 20. And no, I'm not counting the times the camera cuts to Taylor Swift. The Chiefs have lost 4 out of 5 games this season when they allow their opponents to score over 20 points. This Chiefs offense isn't what it used to be. It isn't some offensive juggernaut that's going to go out and score 30 points a game. That's something they've only done 3 times all season long. If they fall behind early by multiple scores, they could be in trouble.
I wonder if Underdog is going to throw out a pick 'em for how many times we'll see Taylor Swift on Sunday. But for point number 4 in San Francisco, it's going to be the fact that I believe the 49ers are finally built for this moment. In the past, there has been a lot of talk about Kyle Shanahan and his inability to coach from behind. I mean, at one point, he had no wins with San Francisco when trailing entering the 4th quarter. But he's been able to get some pretty nice comebacks against both Green Bay and Detroit over the last couple of weeks. He has got a team that is finally able to play well from in front, to come from behind if they need to, resilience, being able to battle through those moments, even when it looks like San Francisco is out of it. They've got the offense to come back, the defense to shut down their opponent. And even if San Francisco is down heading into the 4th quarter, they could still turn this thing around with some great adjustments.
Point number 4, why the Kansas City Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl is don't drop the ball. Unless you're going to drop it like it's hot, drop it like it's hot. But anyway, Patrick Mahomes has had his balls dropped more times this season than any other quarterback in the NFL. 39 drops in season, 5 so far here in the postseason. Imagine what that total would have been had Kadarius Toney actually gotten more targets. But 15 of these drops that we've seen from Patrick Mahomes have come from Travis Kelce and Rashee Rice. That cannot happen in the Super Bowl. All it takes is 1 or 2 key drops to absolutely kill a drive and change momentum in this game.
All right, point number 5 on why I think San Francisco is going to win the Super Bowl. And maybe Kansas City has Patrick Mahomes, and maybe that's enough. But San Francisco has Christian McCaffrey, one of the most steady and reliable players in all of the NFL this season. In 8 of their last 10 games, Christian McCaffrey has run for at least 90 yards. And a couple of weeks ago against Detroit, the number 1 run defense in all of football, he was still able to put up 90 yards on only 20 carries. Yeah, at some points he was getting shut down, but they were not afraid to stop pounding the football against Detroit. And that's what they're going to have to do against Kansas City. Can they go toe-to-toe with that offense and Patrick Mahomes? Absolutely, I believe that they could. Should they, though? No. You've got Christian McCaffrey. Utilize him. Passing it out of the backfield, running the ball, it doesn't matter. Keep him involved the entire game. Don't get away from it. Keep Patrick Mahomes off the field. Chew up clock. And let your guy that, like I said, should have gotten more love in MVP voting, absolutely put up a great performance in this game. Now, as far as a prediction goes, I know you're going to want to know my thoughts on who's going to win this game. And I just gave you 5 points as to why San Francisco is going to win. But I'm not going to go with San Francisco, because why would I bet against Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl? Listen, this was a fun segment debating back and forth with Jake on who we think is going to win the Super Bowl and reasons why. But at the end of the day, Patrick Mahomes is an MVP. He's been here and won Super Bowls before. The Kansas City Chiefs currently have a dynasty, and Patrick Mahomes is the guy. He is him, and I am not going to stray away from that. I do think we're going to see some scoring in this game. I'm going to go with Kansas City 31, San Francisco 27.
Which only leaves me point number 5 here as to why the Kansas City Chiefs are going to win. And it's, yes, Patrick Mahomes' experience and his superhero dad bod. All great quarterbacks have had some dad. Look at Tom Brady, dad bod, right? But I've never related more to Patrick Mahomes than when that shirtless pic of him came out. But back to his experience. He has played 17 playoff games as a starter, basically an entire regular season at this point. In those games, he's gone 14-3 and has thrown for 4,802 yards and 39 touchdowns. He's only been a starter in this league for 6 years. He's gone to the AFC Championship game 6 years, and this will be his 4th Super Bowl. Nothing against Brock Purdy at all. I actually love Brock Purdy, but Mahomes may be one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, and when the lights are the brightest is when this kid plays the best. Now, yes, I'm going to agree with Kyle here in my pick. I believe the Chiefs are going to win. I don't know if they hit that high point total, but I'm going Chiefs 24, San Francisco 17. All right, you've heard the points and you've heard the predictions. Now it's time for you to hop down in the comment section and tell us who's winning Super Bowl 58. Now, one last reminder before we get out of here for the day, be sure to hit the like button on your way out, because if you don't, your Super Bowl prediction is going to go wrong, and you're probably going to lose any bets that you place. So just saying, just trying to look out for you. But on that note, hopefully you all enjoy Super Bowl 58 and have a great Super Bowl weekend.